Netted like 25,000 last week.
Yeah, 28.
Wow,
Issue paid, man.
that's impressive.
Thanks. It's been life-changing for sure.
And where do you live?
California.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear that story.
Where do you live?
I'm in Florida, Coral Springs, Florida, which is like South Florida by Fort Lauderdale.
Nice.
Yeah. What did you do before insurance?
Medical history or medical
Wow.
insurance.
Okay. Never going back to that.
Never going back to that. That's for sure.
Good for you.
I hear you crush it all the time too.
Yeah, here and there, I'm trying to keep up with you guys.
How long have you been doing this?
About 2.5 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a wild ride. Can't complain.
How'd you get into it? Rob?
No, a friend of mine, Mark Mead, he introduced me to it back in the day. He was a good friend of mine. All right. I'm going to get this thing going. Good afternoon. We're live, Marco, right?
Yes, sir. Live.
All right. Good deal. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Monday, July 12th, the Health and Wealth Apex team call. Very, very excited today. We have an awesome special guest, a brand new agent who is crushing it. So first, going to dive into the numbers a little bit here. So issue paid week 1 of July, and July is the 5-week month where you can make all of your promotions happen. You can make all of the goals that you're looking to make in a 5-week month happen. So we started off with a bang, 253,903 issue paid. Kicking it off, John Henson. I believe this was his best issue paid ever for the first week, 14,267. Bart G, 14,176, had a nice annuity hit. My man Orlando, no pain, no gain, 12,946. Caleb Sewell, 12,333. Garrett D, 8,013. TRB out there grinding, same day set, just sold one, 7,920. Mario Guajardo, 7,362. Jen Hayes killing it, 7,284, and Amanda Sanchez killing it as well, 7,095. So a great start for week 1 issue paid. Top groups, Health and Wealth, 126,550. So awesome job, guys. Let's keep that up. Alex Abrija with Third Coast, 34,985. My main man, Chris Wasserman with Blue Line, 23,384. Orlando Payne with his new logo, Mass Appeal, 20,865. And Jesse Parley with Avenues, 18,932 for our groups. Our submit for week 2, Julie Mong with a big annuity, 16,309. TRB, 11,371. Orlando Payne, Mr. Consistent, 11,186. Cedric Hartman, 10,260. Steph Cover coming in strong, 8,486. Janine C on a travel trip, 8,430. Kyle W, pretty new to the insurance game, 7,566. Garrett D, 6,280. Lee Harrison, 5,538. Justin M, 5,376. Jesse M, 5,090. Alex Abrija, 4,861. Kevin D, 4,720. Mason J, 4,644. Gerardo G, 4,415. Ron V, 3,325. Samantha C, 3,295. Taya C, 3,180. And Taylor A, rounding it out with 3,164. 5 new writers, Luciano, Jared, Joseph, Dalen, and Joshua. So pretty strong for a holiday week. And now that we're back to normal in July, we need to really get into gear in the rounding out the last 3 weeks of the month. So getting right into it, my special guest today, very, very excited. Caitlin Blackburn out in California with FFL for only 90 days, and she is out there crushing it. So very excited to have her. So Caitlin, welcome to the call. How are things going for you today?
Hi, guys. Good. How are you guys?
We're not as good as you.
That's not true.
So you started literally 90 days ago, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What brought you into FFL?
I saw it on Instagram, so I saw it on social media, and at first I wasn't really sure. Had never thought about getting like my insurance license or doing anything like this at all, but I knew that what I was like doing 3 months ago, I wasn't happy doing it. I had gone to school, I'd gone through multiple different things looking for the right fit. And when I saw FFL at first, I was like, it sounds too good to be true, but I also don't have a lot to lose. So I'm just going to go all in and see what this opportunity could offer me. And I'm really glad that I did. So.
Wow. Did you know anybody that worked at FFL?
Not personally, no. I mean, I had Bone reach out to me through Instagram. So I didn't know him personally. I just kind of took the leap of faith and came on over.
And your whole career you had been in the medical field, right?
Yeah, the medical field. I did personal training. I got a business degree at the university, and I just didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do because I wasn't really happy nor making the money that I wanted to support my daughter and myself with anything else that I'd been doing. I always knew I was a hard worker. I just wasn't compensated for it. So when I saw this opportunity, I was like, well, I do work hard. So I wonder if I work hard, what's possible here. And now it's crazy. It doesn't feel real, but it is real.
So as you were kind of transitioning, you had never really done anything entrepreneurial, because even in your personal training that you worked for a company, right? You didn't do it on your own in a sense.
Yeah, I worked for gyms, like
Yeah.
like gyms. Yeah, I didn't work for myself. I worked for someone else.
How was that adjustment? Because I think that's probably the biggest adjustment when people that come from, whether it's corporate America, 9 to 5, anything, and then they would jump into this entrepreneurial world. It's kind of the biggest challenge. How did you transition, mentally into that?
I think that I just was starting to realize that all of the other jobs that I was doing, I wasn't happy in them. I didn't like to be micromanaged. I didn't like to have to be working so hard for somebody else's dream, not my own. So I think that when I saw this, I didn't really think about it in a way of being an entrepreneur at first. So I was like, well, let's just see what they have in place. Let's see if I can follow the system and then go from there. And when I went all in like that, it kind of forced me to just change my mindset from like, oh, I used to have a job, but now I'm working for myself. I have to go out there and fight for my family. So I did. And I made like my same income, my monthly income in a day here the first week. So it was mind blowing. And I was like, okay, like, so I have been doing something wrong this whole time. And that was not what I was just stuck in what I was supposed to be doing and what I thought that I was supposed to be doing. And then when I made the jump to come to FFL, I realized that, wow, this is such a great opportunity. So many people are out there searching for something like this, but don't make the leap of faith to just get out of their current situation to improve their life. So I was like, I'm going to do it and see what happens. And I can tell you now, I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. So now one of the coolest things I always love to find out for people who are unlicensed is how quickly did you go from unlicensed to having a license and getting contracting going?
I did it in 10 days. So and any of my new agents, I tell them the same thing, like, just put your head down and get it done, because you just need to get your license and then you get contract and you can get out there and start changing your life, helping families, doing all that. I mean, like I said, I've always worked hard, so I know how to put my head down and really get something done. So I did that. But I think a lot of newer people overcomplicate the process of getting licensed, and it's really not that complicated. Like, you just need to go get your license so that you can do this job. And then, from there, it's really just about caring about people and knowing how to follow, the trainings and the system that we have in place.
You said a very interesting thing there, in addition to the, getting it done 10 days, which is impressive, is your new agent. So now in 90 days and 3 months, you're hiring, obviously. At what point did you say, I'm going to hire? Did you wait a little bit, or was it right off the bat?
Yeah, I waited a little bit. I look back on it now and I wish I hadn't, but I waited. I've just started about 6 weeks ago. So like really hiring. A lot of my good friends, though, I will say, watched me at the very beginning of this and they were like, oh, she's like crazy. She just quit her job. Like, what's she doing? Like, I can't believe you're just going all in with this. And they thought I was like the psycho insurance lady. And then as they kept watching me and they kept seeing my deposits and they kept seeing what was happening in my life and how like I love FFL. So they were like, wow, she's whatever she's doing is working. So, and they trusted me. So they jumped over as well. Like I have 3 really good friends that have known me for a really long time and they're licensed agents now out there crushing it. So I mean, that's a testament to just going out there and doing it and following the system. People deserve this opportunity. Like share it right away. That would be my biggest advice for anyone new. Share it right away, because I didn't right away, but my best friends followed me and now I am hiring and it's been great.
I love that. So now, when you start out, are you working out of a local office in California? Like what part of California are you in?
Northern California. We don't have an office out here yet, but we are in the process, myself and another agent, getting one within the next week. So we're getting all that wrapped up this week. So it's pretty exciting to have a spot to work out of.
That is awesome. See, what I love about people like yourself is that you're not thinking, you're just doing, like you see it, you see what everybody is doing. There's a lot of people that they're just like, hey, like sell insurance, get an office, get a little staff, share the opportunity. It's not that crazy deep, but too many people think. And while others are thinking, you're out killing it and your team will be killing it quicker. So I love that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at everyone that has been very successful here and like if they're telling me to do it or it's worked for them, then I'm going to do it. And it's working. I think a lot of people get into this and they're a little bit nervous, financially at first. Like I just took fear completely out of it. Like just take fear out of it and just do. Don't sit there and think about it. Like just do it. And you will be amazed what can happen in this business if you just do it, do the work and take the fear out of it and go all in. It really is the best opportunity nationwide.
Was there something you needed to do on a personal level to take the fear out of it? Or were you kind of have that little bit built into you think?
I mean, yes and no. I have that built into me a little bit, but I was fearful and I just had to make the jump because I knew that this was real, and like when you start seeing how real it is when you first start, you're like, this could get really big and this could be like, I wanted this to be, and I still want this to be, I wanted to explode. I think everybody should be at FFL. I don't think there's anybody that's in a better position out there that's not here. This is the best spot to be. So I truly believe that. And I took fear out of it because at the end of the day, we don't have that much to lose. I mean, like people are fearful of money. They're fearful of like asking questions, asking for help, getting resources to fund their business, all of that. They're fearful of doing that. But if you don't do that, you're just going to stay stagnant. I have done all of that. Like I've hired staff. I am getting an office. I have put so much back into this business and it is paying off now. 3 months into this, at first, like, yeah, I was putting a lot back into the business. A lot was just like, I'd make a lot of money and then I'd put it right back in, make a lot of money, put it right back in. But I've been broke before, so I know what it feels like to be broke, and that's hard. So being broke is hard. So I was like, let's just put this back in, see what can happen. And then I know that I can live off of the small amount of money that I've been making at every other job. So I had gone ahead and done that. And I mean, it works, it definitely works.
Wow. It's so amazing. Like, your perspective is amazing. It's just so cool to hear that. And, yeah, being broke is hard. And everybody that starts, most people that got started here didn't start with tons of money. That's why they're here in the first place. So now you go into your first dial day, first lead order. What did that look like? What did you spend to start out?
It was terrifying, and I didn't have any money. So I spent, I think it was about $300 to $600 on leads, like right off the get go. I didn't have a ton, and my first dial day was terrifying. I mean, I sat there on my living room floor by myself and was getting torn up over the phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this was like, I thought it was going to be easier, and then I just kept going. And you do get better as time goes on. The more you do it, you get better at it. You realize, like, once you start sitting in homes and you realize how much these people need your help and how they have been looking for this for so long, and they haven't found somebody that has like really persevered to make it into their home to get this done. You start to get better at the phone because you're looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it from a way that, no, like, they requested this information. Nobody really wants to sit there and talk about when this is going to happen. But if we don't, if we don't persevere through that and get into the home and actually explain to them what this is going to do for them, then they're never going to get coverage. So I started thinking about it that way, in the way of, there's not a lot of people that are going to do that. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit here and make sure that I can get appointments. I'm going to sit here and make sure that I can visit these families. And then when you do that, you find so many people that are so thankful that you came and helped them out. And I have so many clients that are so thankful, and like, they still talk to me. Like, it's crazy. And you don't think that on your first dial day because you're getting torn up on the phones. But if you push through it and don't give up, then you're going to end up like much farther than you would have thought your first dial day sitting there.
So as you're getting beat up a little bit, are there certain people in your upline or just mentors that you're reaching out to kind of get some guidance? Or do you have like a top 3 people that you go to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can go to anyone at FFL. You guys are all super amazing. And if I'm having a rough day, of course I will. But at the end of the day, I also know that I am my own business owner, so I don't have to rely on anyone else to, make me feel better about my rough dial day. Like, at the end of the day, I've realized, at first, when I first started, I feel like I was doing that a little bit more. And now I'm just like, that's just an excuse, Caitlin, get over it. Keep going. It's just an excuse to not dial for an hour or something. It's like, just keep going, keep pushing through. And like I said, the more you do that, the more success comes and follows after that. So you get better at handling that. Like, it still happens. Like, you still have rough dial days, even if you are, like, consistently dialing and practicing, you still have rough times.
So now that first week, how many appointments did you book? What did you sell? What did that kind of look like and feel like for you?
Honestly, the first week, I think I booked like 8. So I was really struggling on the phones. I could not get the amount that I wanted. And I think I sold 5 or 6. So it was a good close ratio when I went in the home. The appointments that I had booked, they showed up. So that proves or goes to show that if you keep dialing, you're going to find those people that want to meet you. So just keep going. So my first week looked like that. Now it's much different, but like I said, it gets easier the more you do it. The longer you do it, the more you have to put back into the business. You have more to give back into your business. And yeah.
Now, I know California, much like Florida, can be a little tricky with lead flow. How did you manage that? And were like, I'd assume you probably drive a significant amount to some different counties, right? I'm sure there's not a ton of leads in your backyard, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I just do what I have to do. If I see leads in an area, I'm going to go get them and I'm going to call them and I'm going to drive to them. So it's just like anything else. If somebody wants your help and you set an appointment with them, you're going to drive. You're going to drive 2 hours to see them. That's fine. It never really affected me in that way. Like I know some people have problems with that, but if you're at the end of the day, if we're like compensated so well for the work that we do here, that's just a part of it. I mean, if you get no showed and you just drove 2 hours and then the next appointment have a $2,000 sale, it makes sense. Like that's a part of our job, like we're out there serving as many people as we can. Of course it's going to happen where we're going to have to drive 2 hours and that person won't be there. It's just life, putting your mindset into knowing that that's going to happen, but we're overly compensated for what we do. So that's a part of the job.
I love that perspective. That's amazing. So now you're brand new. I'd assume in addition to your time dialing, which is obviously money making time, you're listening and learning to trainings. How many hours a day, a week would you say that you invest your time into getting better and learning your craft?
All the time. I mean, I've taken this to the absolute extreme and I am watching YouTube videos all the time. I'm learning new things all the time and I'm always working. And my goals are very high. And I know in order to reach where I want to be, I have to do that. And I enjoy it. Staying plugged into the system is the most important part of all of this, in my opinion. Like if you fall off of, that momentum or plugging into the calls and the YouTube trainings and all of that, you can really lose your momentum that way. And keeping the right mindset also is really important. So if you lose that mindset, it's hard to get back into it. So consistently trying to improve, consistently trying to perfect that craft, because this is a craft. At the end of the day, this is a craft. You're out there helping families that requested information. If you don't do it, if you're not following the system or you're trying to reinvent the wheel, it's going to be a lot harder for you.
How many new writers would you say you have on your team right now that you're working with?
I have 6 that are writing there that have written the policy, and I have a little bit more that are licensed and going through contracting right now. And then I have a lot more that are in the pipeline.
Okay. So now knowing, you being 90 days, what are some of the things that, some of the hiccups, mistakes, things that they make that you see that are kind of like the biggest things that you see between someone being successful like you are or not being successful?
They're the fear of money, really. That is a big one. The fear of losing too much money or the fear of not having enough money to really get started and rolling. That's a fear. I have empathy for all of them. I understand. I've been in that spot, like with rough dial days, finances being really tight, doubting yourself, like having a bad day. Of course, like that happens to all of us. But now that I'm building a team, I want to encourage them and inspire them that things, like if you keep pushing and don't give up, this is going to be the best decision of your entire life. Like if you can push through and do that, it's very character building and it's a very feel good business if you allow it to be important to you. I love this, and the people that I've brought on, I mean, the majority of them, yes, they are going to be very successful because they are pushing through those things. It takes some time, but they are pushing through slowly but surely, and they're going to be wildly successful at the end of the day. And I already know that. Everyone that I've hired, I know that they're driven. I know that they're motivated. I know they're going to have those little hiccups, like you said, but they're going to get over those at their own time. And I know that they're fully capable of doing more than I have. I've just told my agent that's writing the most business right now, she's brand new. I just told her, I was like, you're going to be way better than me. Like you are already out there crushing it. When I was in your shoes 3 months ago, I was not doing what she's doing. So I just, the encouragement of like, they're going to kill it,
It's amazing. So now last week you issued paid what, 28,000 it was?
Yeah.
Okay. So now your lead mix, and like we said, going to different areas and stuff like that. What is it that you're running? What are you spending a week at this point to write, let's say, that 28 grand?
Mm-hmm. I'm running a little bit of everything. So I actually like the CRM leads that are a little bit older, like the 3 month, 1 month. Over the instance, they haven't been called as much. These people haven't been called recently, so they're a little bit easier for me. Personally, I really like Happy Agent and I really like Game Time leads. So those are my two go-tos. That's mainly what I run. And I have a lot of lead flow, so that helps a lot with appointments, is that you're not so worried about getting appointments because you have so many leads. I spend at least 1,500 a week, maybe more, on leads. And I am not afraid to buy more if I need to. If I feel like it's like the leads flow is not as good as I'd like in that area, I'll go and buy more. I think that leads are obviously a huge part of this business. So if you guys don't have leads, you got to get leads, because at the end of the day, that's the biggest hurdle that anyone's going to have, is just not having enough people to call.
Yeah. That's amazing, because you're diversifying, you're doing different things. You didn't even mention mortgage protection and you still wrote 29,000. So anybody that thinks you have to run mortgage protection to write those numbers, that's a myth. You just need volume at the end of the day.
And I mean, the age mortgage protection in the CRM, those are amazing. Those leads, like, they're $250. The return of investment on those is incredible. If you work them the right way, these people, they still want the information. Like they never got it. So if you work them the right way, you're definitely going to, profit a lot off of those as well.
So now you have a staff. I assume it's a recruiter, right?
Yes, I have an admin and I just hired a recruiter.
Wow. So 2 staff and an office, 90 days in. What have you paid in 90 days?
Nina texted it to me. Let me find it. I think it was.
I bet you it's a good number, I'd assume. So
it's a good one. It's like 142.
Wow.
124.
Oh,
but yeah,
terrible.
I'm trying to hit that Hall of Fame, so I'm gonna keep going.
I think you're gonna get there. So 124, 90 days, 2 staff and an office, and unafraid now to spend the money and pour back in, because you have great leadership. Nina's amazing. And I'm assuming, next thing I was going to talk about was your recruiting on social media, because she's a killer at it. So I'd assume you're doing a lot of the similar things that she does.
Oh yeah, she's a queen. Definitely.
So Instagram, tons of posts. Like, how many posts would you say you make a day?
Well, I'm trying to keep up with every 2 hours. That's why I hired a recruiter, because I am trying to have someone help me with keeping up on my social media, keeping up on Facebook and LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter, and getting ads out for hiring. When it comes to hiring, I really do a very short phone call and see if that person is a good fit for this. If this could benefit their life, if they're willing to go out and be an entrepreneur, but also know that they have, FFL support, then, if you have a good attitude and you go and work hard, you're going to be very successful here. So if I can tell right off the bat that that person's going to be able to do that, then I'm more than happy to help you if you're willing to work. If you're not willing to work, that's a different story. Then there's nothing I can do for you. Yeah. But if you're willing to work, you're going to be successful. My recruiter is hopefully going to just get my social media improved, because I don't have as much time. We are busy in this business, so you do need to hire staff to be successful with all of the different aspects of it. So she will definitely be on there helping with that. But I think that every 2-hour rule is ideal. Share this opportunity. It's selfish if you don't, really.
Yeah. See, what I love about the way you interview there is, and once you get more volume, you're absolutely going to explode, because it's like our regular leads. You're having quick conversations. It's not crazy deep. If you're not the right fit, you're not the right fit. And I'm not going to try and force you to be the right fit. I'm going to have enough volume that I can go on to the next one, and then I'll find the right fit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now you're just, pouring gasoline onto that fire. What would be your advice? And I mean, you've given us a ton of great advice as we wrap things up here for the new agent, the one that's afraid of money, the one that's afraid of investment. What if it doesn't work? What is your best advice in addition to what you've given us to that new agent?
Like I said before, to just try and let go of the fear, or figure out like what your big why is for this. Like, why do you want to be here? What do you want out of this for your family? Like, I have a 3-year-old daughter, and she means more than anything to me, obviously. And my big why is her. I am going to make sure that I will work as hard as I have to work to make sure that she's set up, so that she doesn't have to worry about anything for forever. And also so that in a short period of time, I work really hard to be able to spend so much more time with her and be able to really pick and choose what I do with my time at that point. And that's like huge for me. So finding your why, trying to let go of the fear that you may have in the back of your head, like this might not work, or like, what if I lose a bunch of money? Like, you could lose money, like you also can gain a lot of money. Like it's a business. So having that mindset of like, sometimes you're going to lose money, sometimes you're going to gain a lot of money. So letting go of that fear, and not giving up. If this is something that you really think you can be successful in, just keep pushing, because you don't have to be, it doesn't have to happen in 90 days. Like, it can happen in 6 months, whatever that is for you, it can still happen. So just don't give up, keep pushing, make it a priority in your life, let go of distractions, and, go all in. If you're kind of hesitant, like, you either have to go all in or you have to get out, is how I feel. You can't really be halfway in, halfway out. It won't be successful for you. In my opinion, I think that going all in is really what makes the most successful agents here.
I would agree 100%. Well, this has been very enlightening for a lot of our new people. Your positive energy is infectious, and I appreciate it. Anything that we can do for you, please reach out, and just thank you again. Such an awesome call.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, of course. You guys are more than welcome to reach out to me as well. If you have any questions or anything like that, I'm open to chatting. So
love it. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.
Of course. You too. Bye.
Take care. All right, guys. Well, that was impressive. Very, very exciting to have her on. Let's hop into some quick questions. We won't go too long because it's a dial day, but anybody have anything pressing over the weekend going into July? Check the chat box here. Anybody with anything? If not, we'll just get back to the phones. Caleb, my man, take you off mute.
Okay, I was going to type it in the chat box, but can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Okay, advice for door knocking, please. What time you generally door knock, and how you approach a young person versus an old person door knocking.
I'll door knock any time of the day, probably I'd say between, let's call it 9 and 8 p.m. I don't look at the person or the age. I just look at everybody as a lead. I think if you have the lead in front of you, it's a good thing because there's always that like tangible evidence that they did something. And I'll typically say things like, hey, you know, I was in the area. I just met with one of your neighbors. You had filled out this form for mortgage protection, final expense, whatever. I'm just trying to find a time to go through it with you. It takes about 15 minutes. Are you free right now? I would love to book it right then and there. I kind of give them that, you know, that question. And then if we can do it, great. And then if not, okay, awesome. What time do you guys typically get home from work? Because I want to then obviously book it. Sometimes you're going to get the runaround like, oh, I'll call you. Do you have a card? Whatever the case might be. I'll kind of reiterate back to like, hey, you know, I don't right now on me or whatever, you know, what's again, the time that you guys are together. That's typically how I do it. I try not to overcomplicate it. How are you doing it now?
I'm just saying, hey, Caleb, I was trying to get a hold of you on the phone, but I wasn't able to reach you. So they sent me by as a courtesy follow-up. I've only got about 10 or 15 minutes. I've got to run to the next appointment, but I got some time to answer some of your questions. You have time right now?
I like that. How has the success rate been that you've had with it?
If they're home, probably about 75%.
Okay. That's great. I would keep doing what you're doing. I like what you're saying better than what I'm saying. Is there anybody else on here who is a solid door knocker who has something else? Like I'll use Tier as an example. He's an avid door knocker. Tier, give us a little of what you do.
No, I mean, it's similar to the same. It's, you know, they have me out here, you know, because I make it like it's a problem. Like you know, I've been trying to call you and now I have to go to your house and it's bothering me. So, you know, I have to be out here. I have to come and see you. I have to deliver this information for you. Me personally, I door knock as early as 8 o'clock in the morning and as late as 9 o'clock at night. Most people are awake anyway, so I'm awake. They should be awake. And then, yeah, I kind of like the courtesy door knock lingo. I'll probably use that in the next hour and see how it goes. You know?
I think the other thing is culturally, like someone like yourself and Orlando, a lot of other people on here, you guys door knock a lot, and you have good success, and you also fill your day with it. So like if you have like today, you have some appointments, right?
Yeah. Today I'm running like 4 appointments this afternoon, and I have 4 door knocks scheduled in between that.
Okay. So again, another thing, you schedule them. Do you Road Warrior app that, or you just kind of go as you see fit?
Yeah. I Road Warrior it at the end of a dial session, especially clients that told me today that they were going to be home but didn't want to meet, or were kind of giving me the runaround like, oh, I'll be here at 5:30 or something like that. I kind of put them into my Road Warrior app. Like if I have time, I'll show up. And just assume that, you know, like we had an appointment, even though we don't.
Yeah, I think it's something that good door knockers like yourself, there's the psychology. It's just like the psychology on the phone. Like when you say certain things in a certain way to people, it makes it seem a little bit like it makes sense. Like, for instance, if I say, yeah, I was just in your neighborhood, I just met with a couple of your neighbors and I'm there, then it's not like it's weird that I drove to your house where you kind of have that upper hand. It's more like, yeah, I was here. Like I just met with some people. You sent in this form. I'm doing my job. I don't really want to do it, but I'm doing it, kind of like you said. And it changes the psychology because it's not me, the sales guy. I just drove an hour to come here to door knock you. It's me. I'm really, really busy and I just insured your neighbor. And now I just got to get this to you because you filled it out. You know, you got to play that psychology with people.
Yeah, and good point you mentioned too, Steve, is put it in your Road Warrior and like put it into your schedule. Like it's on my calendar as, you know, it's either a door knock, it's a show up, it's I gotta do this today. Because if it's not in the calendar, it's just like on an Excel spreadsheet somewhere.
Yeah. The other thing that I know you and a lot of top people do is some agents would get let's say 100 instant leads, dial 100 instant leads, maybe book 10, 15. Now we got 70, 80, a lot of quote unquote dead leads that have not been resolved. If you, like yourself, Tier, go out and make that list of those people and resolve those leads, yeah, you're not going to sell most of them. You're not. But you will find countless people. Like I think you had one the other day. It was like $150 a month Eagle Premier. You'll find those people that like you just didn't connect with, and you worked it because you work your days. Like you just said, if you're working 9 to 8 and you're in the field and you have whatever, 7 appointments and 8 door knocks, whatever the number is, you're going to find success. You just have to attack it that way. And a lot of people don't want to work that hard is really the bottom line of it all.
Yeah, even I've had some success with even some of those bad addresses that come up on some of the leads. I just do the same pitch. Like, I'm looking for this person. They requested life insurance. They're like, oh, they haven't lived here in 10 years. And I was like, oh, great. Well, do you need life insurance? What do you mean? What type of insurance? And I run the pitch like it was the person. it was the person on my lead sheet. I'm like, yeah, I do final expense, mortgage protection, life insurance. And then I hear kids or something. And like, oh, we insure kids too. I'm like, oh, you do? And then I'll schedule an appointment from them, from a stranger. You just have to attack it. It's a lead that you paid $11 for, whatever it is. You might as well go after it.
If you work this job and dial the phone Monday and Thursday all day long, let's say at 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. until you get a break, take a training call, dial again in the evening. Let's say you're working 8-9 hours dialing on the 2 days. And then you go in the field and you run 9, 10, 11, 12 hours of just appointments and showing up to people's houses, and you don't win. This isn't for you. But there's no way that you'll do that and you won't have success. There's no way. It's impossible. Because if you buy enough leads, there's enough people that are waiting for you to get insurance. The difference, like if you're struggling and you're not doing that, that's why you're struggling. Like there's nothing beautiful about what a top producer does. It's a grind. It leads to a beautiful result, but you have to embrace the grind first, if that makes sense. All right. So before we wrap up, anything else pressing? Any other questions? All right. So one final thing, I guess we have no other questions. So again, 5-week July, making sure that we are trying to keep stuff into the month, trying not to post date out into August if we can. Try and make that your standard. We got a lot of momentum, guys. There's a lot of leads in the CRM. Load up. This is the month to make your numbers for the month and get all the promotions, logos, anything that you're looking to gain out of this business. A 5-week month is the month to do it. So go out, protect families, and reach out if you guys need anything. Have a great afternoon.